What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to another Playmates Godzilla x Kong The New Empire review. Today we have one I am very excited to get into. This is Godzilla Evolved. Let's get right into it, shall we? So starting off, we've got, of course, the Kong and Godzilla graphic right there. Godzilla Evolved, other logos onto it, and then here is the bottom showing you the tail assembly. Here is the side. And of course, here's the other side. Here's the back. And then of course, here's the list of all the other figures. I am of course covering up the spoiler monster for obvious reasons. The synopsis for the movie. I've been doing this for almost every figure, so I'm gonna say the same thing. Pause the video if you want to read it yourself. I'm not gonna waste my time reading out for you, but I will read out this. The synopsis for the figure. Godzilla has evolved in an all-new form. Now faster, stronger, and more powerful, Godzilla thunders in the battle with a supercharged heat ray and city-destroying tail swipe. Let's see how good he is when he is actually out of the package. So, let's do that. Let's take him out of the package the way he came out of that iceberg. That was a bit painful, because the tail, I don't know if you guys saw, it took me multiple attempts to get the tail actually secured in. There were several moments where I thought, it's in, and then I twisted it a little bit, and then it will come off. But now that it's actually secured and tight, it is really stiff. Really stiff. There is, I guess, a little of a molding issue with this particular Godzilla. Maybe I just need to warm it up, you know, fiddle with it enough, then it'll be loosened up. Maybe warm up a hair dryer or something. This, I can tell right now, is a completely new Godzilla mold. There is nothing original about it. This is a complete new remake, and I am absolutely here for it. Biggest difference I've noticed with this new form of Godzilla is that he is a lot skinnier. My boy be hitting the gym. He seems way more fit now, which I guess will explain how he can run so fast in the trailer alongside Kong. Now, obviously, I said I would bring out the old one, which I just reviewed, so that's why I reviewed this one first, so I can do the comparison when he gets evolved into the new version. So, let's remove their heat press for a second. You can see Godzilla is truly skinnier when he's evolved. This is what he looks like originally, you know, still big in a way. And then our new guy here, completely skinny. Let's lift his arm up. His arms also feel longer for some reason. I feel like he grew his arms a bit. I don't know, but yeah, this is a much skinnier approach, and maybe as a toy, kind of looks a bit off, maybe. You can tell that he's gotten skinnier, but it's not super obvious. That's what I'm hoping for here. Maybe it's just the mold Playmates has gone with, or maybe this is actually what he'll do in the movie. He'll actually get skinnier. I doubt there'll be a montage of Godzilla hitting the gym, but that'll be pretty funny if there was. The overall design of this Godzilla follows some of the original Godzilla vs. Kong Godzillas did. Transparent dorsal plates. Now, I highly praise the old one here, or the heat ray one here, because of the dorsal plates. They've remade the dorsal plates to just purely paint. As you can see, the paint job is done spectacularly well on the tip when it's fading into the gunmetal gray. Now, with the evolved Godzilla here, they've went back to the original route, which is to have a transparent dorsal plate, which I think makes sense for this Godzilla's case because it's kind of like a crystal on his back, much rather than just, you know, good old regular dorsal plates. So it makes sense. It is also very flimsy. One of the dorsal plates got bent up a little from the string that's holding it in the package. Playing around with the dorsal plates, it's actually quite flimsy plastic, so it's quite safe for kids to, you know, poke around. Whereas, like, the heat ray one here, it's kind of like a harder, it's also soft plastic, but it feels more prickly, if you will. There is a bit more firmness to it. The evolved one here really feels like it's like soft plastic going on here. And I think it looks okay. Unfortunately, what I don't like is how the pink doesn't continue onto the tail. See, with the heat ray one, you can see the paint job continues onto the tail very smoothly, and it just looks consistent. Unfortunately, it looks like for Evolved Godzilla here, the tail just cuts off and a completely new color scheme starts at the tail. A very light, subtle shade of pink. I think that doesn't really look that good. I want a bit of continuity going on from the dorsal plates all the way to the tail. You know, a bit of a transparency on the tail wouldn't hurt as well. Now, I have another Godzilla figure I want to compare this one to, and that is from Godzilla vs. Kong, of course, the Hong Kong Battle Godzilla. I bring this one up because this is actually a very close resemblance to what we have now. It's a purple and blue color scheme, and it kind of, you know, similar to the pink color scheme we're getting with the new one here. But one thing that the Hong Kong Battle Godzilla was able to do is keep a consistent color scheme. As you can see, it goes from the dorsal plates all the way down to the tail, and the purple is consistent. It matches. There's continuity, and it just fades off into the transparent blue at the tip of the tail. So I wish they did that with the Evolved Godzilla one here. Not that I'm saying it's bad, but you know, just have a bit of fading or pink, maybe just a couple transparent pieces as well, fading into the end, and then at the very tip of the tail, you have the solid gray pink, darkish pink. That is where I would take away points, and it just gets worse here at the head. As you can see, right at the head, it just cuts off, and it just goes back to that normal pink right at the last bit of his head. And I think that is just, you know, just having the main body be transparent pink is good, but I just want the whole figure just to, you know, have a unity going on. Unfortunately, it doesn't. Also, you will notice with this new version of Godzilla, he's also going to have new dorsal plates on his elbow and on the tip of his tail. So I guess his tail is actually somewhat deadlier now. It's sharp. It can actually do some damage, like those ankylosauruses from Jurassic World. You can actually do some damage with it, and honestly, I think it looks okay. You know, having a bit of spiky end on the tail really can weaponize his tail and make it more deadly. So I think that was a good idea for them to do it with this new design. So Playmates was able to translate that into the figure quite well. Unfortunately, while they do include the new dorsal plates on his elbows, they're not transparent pink. They're just your regular gray. Why is that? Because I look at the Battle Roar Godzilla Evolved and the Giant Evolved Godzilla, and they have pink on the elbow dorsal plate for both figures. I'm looking at them right now. I'm not gonna bring them on camera, but I'm looking at them right now, and they do have a pink color on the fin. Why is it not for this regular 6-inch? And I thought it might just be this figure, but I bought two, keep in mind. I purchased two of this figure. So I looked at my other one, and yeah, it's the same. So why is this not pink? How hard is it just to color it pink? I'm pretty sure it doesn't take that much effort. And it's the same thing with the other side on his other arm, unfortunately. So that is where I would definitely remove points. This is a bit of lack of continuity with the colors here. Not just the back, but as you can see here as well, it's not even the right color. It doesn't even match. So that is why I think this figure could have been a lot better. Now, I haven't even gone through the articulation yet, so let's do that. So obviously the tail is the biggest one here. It is stiff as a rock once you actually attach it. Like, you can articulate it, but I don't know, mine here is quite stiff. I'm gonna actually have to play with it quite a bit in order to warm up the joints. Other points of articulation, obviously we have his really long legs. His legs are a lot longer. He's grown taller, I guess. Sure. You can also swivel. I like to use this term. You can move his feet side to side. So that's what we call a swivel. And then of course there is articulation within the long arms he has now. Just the arm, no elbow movement. This elbow is more bent up. There's a bit of a resistance of movement. This one is kind of more stretched out, so you get a longer bit of range of movement there. You can sort of move the head a bit. You can just sort of twist it side to side, and that's about it. And then of course, lastly, you can move the mouth open and shut. There you go. And which is of course, you need that to happen because, you know, he does have a new heat ray piece as well to attach onto his mouth. But the overall playability is what you expect. With your standard Godzilla figure, it's the same type of articulation. Although I will say, I feel like with the older Godzilla, It's just the articulation feels more flexible. It's the same points of articulation, but it just feels more flexible. There is quite a bit of space, which is not bad. The tail here, of course, is super tight. I don't even know why. Maybe it's just my figure, but I don't know. Let me know if your Godzilla is also like that. If you have this figure as well, do let me know. Now, I did mention a new heat ray piece, and yes, this is the new heat ray piece. It is pink, magenta kind of. It's more on the pink side, and it's a completely new mold. So here's the other one, the blue one. Yeah, look at that. It's completely new mold. It looks nothing alike. Obviously not just in color, but the mold is completely different. It's also a lot shorter than the original one. I also think this new one is a lot easier to attach onto his mouth. He's shooting his new heat ray, and it kind of just wraps around his mouth, like his bottom jaw is wrapped around it and it just blasts it out. I think securing it onto his mouth wise, this is a lot easier and more efficient. So it's a pretty good figure. Not the best though. There's so much inconsistencies with this figure, but I will say I don't hate it. I'm not opposed to it. I just think it could be a lot better. The coloring already, just paint this pink, make it transparent pink on the elbows, and then, you know, have the colors match a bit. The pink, you know, feel more united on Godzilla. It just feels like this main portion, just a harsh cutoff right there. It's just, I feel it's a bit inconsistent there. Bit of inconsistencies there, so my rating for this out of 10, I'd give it a 6 out of 10. It's not perfect, but it's not a bad figure. It's not the worst Godzilla figure I've got. He's a lot skinnier, he's also a lot faster, he's a lot more stronger, so I guess it pays off to work out. If Godzilla can do it, so can you. But so far, in terms of 6 inches, this one, I wish it made it to the top, but unfortunately it hasn't. And I think Playmates has done well. They just could do better, that's what I'm saying. They haven't done bad, but they could do better, if that makes any sense. So, that's all I gotta say about the Godzilla Evolved 6-inch figure from Playmates. What do you think? Do you agree with me or do you disagree with me? And whether, regardless of your opinions, please do give this video a like, and of course subscribe to the channel for more. Thanks for watching. I've been having a lot of fun doing these reviews, and we will see you with the next review from this beloved movie. Hopefully, when it comes out. We'll see you then.